Have you heard? Marana has unforgettable festivals and events. From parades to fireworks, rodeo competitions to light shows, we'll show you a good time. Learn more about the Marana Signature Event Series by visiting maranaaz.gov/events.
Whether you're starting a business or looking to expand in Marana, our Town Development Services staff will walk you through the steps towards success. Learn about business licenses, development permits, business loans, local and state resources, and more. Let's get to work. For more information, visit maranaaz.gov/business development.
Welcome to Real Talk with the Town, where I sit down with Marana staff to answer your burning questions about our beautiful community. My name is Terry Rozema, and I'm the town manager for the town, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Talk with the Town. My name is Terry, and I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about Marana scoring in the top 3 in the state of Arizona and in the top 250, I think at 115, for best places to live. And I have a couple of town residents here with me, joining me in the studio. Not only town residents, but also a couple of employees with the town. We have Andrea. Andrea, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And Andrea, tell everybody your title. You've been on the show before?
I've been on the show before. This is the first time that I'm the interviewee.
Yes.
I've been here interviewing you, Terry.
Yeah.
But I'm Andrea de la Cruz. I'm the assistant to the town manager.
Right. So you got a terrible boss, I understand, but we don't have to talk about that.
He can be pretty scary, yes.
Yeah. He's awful human being. And Stefanie Bowe, welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And Stefanie, why don't you share with everybody what it is you do for the town?
I am the tourism and marketing manager for the town, and also a proud resident of, I think I'm at 11 years right now.
11 years. Mm-hmm. And you live up here in the old part of Marana, Old Town Marana area?
Old town, but new and fresh, man.
New and fresh, man. All right. And Andrea, what part of town do you live in?
So I've been living in Marana for approximately 4 years, and I live in Saguaro Bloom, so along Twin Peaks Road.
Mm-hmm. Great community out there in Saguaro Bloom, San Lucas, Gladden Farms, the communities up here. Great places to live, and that's what we're here to talk a little bit about. But before we do that, as an icebreaker, there's a little thing going on in the town right now that I think is a pretty cool thing, and it allows people not only to get out there and dine in our restaurants, but an opportunity for them to get some swag.
Yes, we're
so
talking.
Who better to talk about that for us than Stefanie? So, Stefanie, what's going on with that? What's it called? How do you do it? How do you get some swag?
Absolutely. It's the Dine and Discover program, which is part of our partnership with the Marana Chamber of Commerce. This is our 3rd year of this program. It is so exciting. We have already had people come into the visitor center, which is where you can come and grab a card or turn in your card where you have eaten at 4 different spots in the Marana area, and you will get merch, stunning Marana merch in exchange for that. That's your reward for supporting local for the summer. So we have beautiful T-shirts, amazing hats with saguaro cacti on them. And it is, just an easy way for us to make sure that our restaurants have a good summer. We want to see them succeed so that we can eat in wonderful restaurants, right? Like, we have to support them if we want to keep them here.
Fantastic. What a great idea. Dine and Discover, not to be confused with Dine and Dash. That's bad.
Oh, that's
Dine
bad.
and Discover, good. Mm-hmm. Dine and Dash, bad. So you got an opportunity to get some swag. What qualifies as a place to dine? They get you an opportunity to get some swag.
Well, I think, ideally, we would like you to go to a mom and pop restaurant in our community.
Do food trucks count?
Yes, indeed they do. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to get so many of these.
Great.
He's always at the taco.
Mm-hmm.
Taco truck.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Love
a great.
the taco trucks.
Yes,
yeah.
So that would be the ideal, but I went to Scrumdiddly, the new ice cream shop in the
I went
mountain.
there last weekend too.
Aren't they so good?
Oh, it was delicious.
Oh my gosh, I ate too much.
But I love ice cream. I got the large and I wanted more. But
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a sweet tooth.
I'm a
My
big
goodness.
ice cream fan.
Oh.
Yeah, big time.
biggest sweet tooth.
Yeah. But that is a mom and pop, but it's dessert, So ideally it'd be a sit-down restaurant where you have a meal, but, Scrumdiddly and other places like that count. Coffee shops like Crema over on Ina would be another great one. That's a great
There you go.
young couple who is making a living serving up coffee.
A whole bunch of them out there. We can't list them all, but
No, we
there's a bunch.
I
Well,
will
thank you.
say
Appreciate
the
it.
swag is getting better and better every single year. I saw
Awesome.
the hats for this year, and they are
I
pretty
did,
cool.
and I want one of those
I
hats.
want one too.
Yeah.
So in fact, I may get 2 hats. I may get enough to get 2 hats.
Awesome. Well, it is while supplies last, so you don't want to sit on this,
Don't wait
right?
too
You want to
long.
get going.
All right. Well, that's great information. But this episode is about why Marana is such a great place to live, and how is it that we end up number 3 in the state of Arizona. I think that is so cool. And this is a report by U.S. News and World Report. It's their study. It's their information that they put out there. They base it on a number of things. Quality of life is 26% of the score. Value, meaning how affordable it is 25%. Desirability is 24%. That's focused on lifestyle, satisfaction with living here, crime rates, weather, etc. The job market, job opportunities, income-based things of that nature. And then net migration is 2%, whether people are moving in or moving out. We definitely got people moving in. So with that being said, we rank number 3 in the state behind. So we're in the top 5 is a impressive list of communities: Queen Creek, Gilbert, then Marana, Chandler, and Scottsdale. And then for the national level, only a few communities in Arizona made it in the top 250, and Marana was one of those at number 115. So let's start off talking a little bit about, and we'll start here with you, Stefanie. Why do you think that is? What is it about Marana that is causing it to rise to the top, being the cream of the crop in terms of good places to live?
Yeah, I absolutely think it has a lot to do with the leadership and strategy that has been going on for quite some time in the town. As you know, I came to work here in February of 2023. And part of the reason I came to work here was I was seeing the work being done in the town through my previous job. I worked pretty closely with some of the town folks while I was working in my other role. And I was so impressed with how they handled themselves versus some of the other municipalities that I worked with in my role. And
we're not going to name any of those other municipalities.
Absolutely
We
not.
love all of them.
We love them all.
We do. But it just was different here. And, our late mayor, Ed Honey, I tell the story of he was one of the first people I met and gave a tour of the facility and that I worked at. And I was so scared of him because he could be kind of scary, right? But once you got to know him, he was like a big teddy bear. And I mean, from that day, he remembered me every time he saw me. He was always my champion before I worked here and after. And so those kinds of little touches, but if you look back at the strategic plan that I can't recall what year that started, but strategic plan 5 and how we're delivering on those results. Mm-hmm. And so as a citizen, you see that and you go, we're on to something here, right? Like when you lead with intention and the future in mind, and you can just see how it's all come together. And so for me, working here and seeing it from behind the other side, this is genuine. This is real. And when the fries went in Gladden Farms, I think we just suddenly hit this new point and skyrocketed up in these last, year, 2 years. And it just blows my mind how amazing it's been. And as a citizen, I'm so proud to live here because of that. And now I'm proud to be part of the story too. Yeah.
That's awesome, Stefanie. I love it. Proud to live here. Actually, I went to a community meeting yesterday. In fact, Andrea, you were at that meeting, and a woman raised her hand and said, I just want to say that for the first time I think it was 20 years, she said, for the first time in the 20 years that I've lived here, I am so proud to call Marana my home. Right. Yeah. And I think you're right, Stefanie. I'd like to hear from you, Andrea, on this point. But it does seem like the trajectory has taken a sharp turn upward within the last couple of years. So from your perspective, you lived here for a number of years, worked for the town now for going on 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. So are you seeing the same thing? And what is that attributed to?
Absolutely. No, and thinking back, so when I moved to Marana, I was not working for the town of Marana, so I didn't have that behind the scenes, that connection. I kind of lived along Twin Peaks Road and just traveled south, right? And then I got this amazing job with the town of Marana, and it's changed. But thinking back when I was looking for a house, and my husband and I were like, where do we want to live? We have Sahuarita, we have Tucson, we have Oro Valley, Marana. We knew we were going to stay in this area. Thinking about the Phoenix area as a question mark possibly, but we talked about wanting to live in a family-friendly community. So that was one of our number one things. Location was big for us as well. Marana has easy access to the interstate. If we want to fly out of Phoenix, it wasn't a far drive. We can also fly out of Tucson International Airport. So love that about Marana. And then the big thing too was that future growth. So we knew that Marana was this thriving community, was going to continue to grow. What we saw 4 years ago, it's already changed so much. And that kind of ties into what Stefanie's mentioning about leadership in the town and just looking for ways to make this place such a unique place for the residents, for visitors, for businesses. And I think that's contagious and people want to be part of that. And if we continue with that mindset, sky's the limit. We're definitely going to be number one in the U.S. News and Report.
Wow, I like
that.
I got to tell you, I'm actually getting lost in these answers. And I don't mean lost in a bad way. I mean, you're really taking me in with these answers. Really almost poetic in the way that you're describing what it's like to live here, why we are up and coming, and I think that's phenomenal. Now, it is interesting to me, right? I mean, these kinds of reports, and I want to talk about this a little bit here. I don't want to harp on it and spend too much time on it, but it is interesting because these reports come out, and some of them have us listed very high in the report, and some of them have us listed lower. So what's kind of your take on that? And we'll start with you, Andrea, and then go over here to Stefanie.
Yeah, so, you can look at different reports and find different things, but I genuinely do agree with where we're ranked when I compare us to, Queen Creek and Gilbert and Chandler, Scottsdale. They're doing amazing things in their cities as well. So for us to be on that same ranking as them is pretty impressive. And I agree, when you look at our quality of life, we have a lot of amenities here. You look at our beautiful landscapes, there's hiking, there's golf, there's just so much in Marana. I think one of the things that maybe some people, if they see this and think, oh, Marana is up there, I don't think they realize where Marana is and how much we have in Marana. So if someone is skeptical, it's probably because they really haven't been in the town and have explored the town and learned about everything that we have going on here.
Yeah. All right. Stefanie, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they haven't taken a look at us in a long time. And so you can end up with that old view of what Marana was, which was never bad. I mean, it was just this Marana's so far away. Right. But I've been here long enough. So I said, I've lived in this part of Marana for I think 11 years. I'm going to have to go do the math, but I grew up at Ina and Thornydale, and I also previously lived in Continental Ranch. So I've kind of done the whole gamut, and my mom still owns our house at Ina and Thornydale.
You just have to live in Dove Mountain, and you've completed the circuit.
Yes, indeed. That sounds good, actually. But I think, we have, they haven't looked at us in a while is definitely going to be my answer if people don't know why we're on the list. But also just, again, it's that visionary thing that we have going on. And then I'll just say, from my experience in journalism, we would get these reports in our, in in our email, we'd get a press release and we would use it. So for me, it's a great opportunity for people to rediscover. Aha, see what I did there? I run Discover Marana. But to rediscover.
That was so slick and so clever. I didn't
Very
even catch it
smooth.
until you called it out.
But for them to truly say, okay, if you don't know why we're on the list, you better take a look and come down and see the mark, and you will know this community is thriving and strong and beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
You both hit on that, the beauty of this area and this community. And, I think the town is trying to be very, very thoughtful about making sure that we retain that beauty. And what many people don't, they see all the growth happening, and I get it. You see all these buildings going up and you think, oh my gosh, we're going to be a concrete jungle before you know it. And it's simply not the case. We're 123 roughly square miles, and only about 34 square miles of that is actually developed. So think about that. You have well over, if I'm doing the math correctly, high 80s. I'm not going to give you an exact number because somebody will call me out on it, but high 80s square miles of open space in our community. So the vast majority of space within the town of Marana is still open space. We have a great preserve that's 2,400 acres. We've got lots of hiking, lots of ranges. But I'm curious from your standpoint. I mean, there's the things that I value and appreciate about Marana. But when you live here, what would you say if you had to name the number one thing that you love most about living in Marana? What would it be for you, Andrea?
I love the outdoors, so I will probably say the views. So I live in Saguaro Bloom. I have amazing views
You do.
over to Sombrero Peak, Safford Peak. So that's my number one, and just access to all the hiking trails that are around me.
That is a tough view to beat, quite frankly.
Yeah.
On that side of the mountain of Sombrero Peak, what did you call it?
Safford Peak, it's
Technical name.
That's the technical name,
Yes.
is Safford Peak. I've lived here all these years.
I
and
taught
didn't
you
know
something
that.
new.
You taught me something new. Yeah.
My
so
job
that is a very
my
tough
work here
view.
is done.
Yeah, drop the mic, walk out. We're done here. All right. And Stefanie, how about you? What would be the number one thing for you?
Man, it is so hard to nail that down. Like, I would say it's the people. A lot of it is the people. I've never lived in a neighborhood where I've known all my neighbors. This is the first time, where I know probably like 6 or 7 of the families all around us. And especially in the pandemic, like we helped each other, right? Like we were a little, pod of community. And, Kyle down the street, right? I see Carl every day when I walk. Kelly next door, she lives in Maine in the summer, and I'm so jealous.
Picking up on a Kyle, Kelly, what was the other? All K's.
Carl. He
Carl.
was a C. He's
That may be a C.
Yeah.
That may be a C.
But I'm a pretty introverted person.
Yeah.
I think people don't believe me when I say that, but
I don't believe
know,
that.
but I am.
Okay, that's a newsflash. Stefanie Bowe is actually introverted.
I'm totally introverted.
Okay.
And but I talk to all those people because they're in my life. They matter to me. They've been in my house. I've been in theirs. And, I haven't really had that in too many other locations.
Yeah.
And we've all been in the neighborhood a long time too, which is super nice. But I can't narrow it down. There's just so many good things. I will say, I don't want to be all Pollyanna here.
Yeah.
Right. There are some things that, we just got really large power poles blocking our view in San Lucas. And, I'm like, oh, I know I need that power. We need it.
Right.
But
Nobody wants it in their backyard.
No, nobody does.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been
terrible.
really hard to see that because I would look out my window every morning into my cactus forest. It's mine,
Right.
out my
Of
window.
course.
And now I see that power pole and I know it'll leave my viewpoint soon. I'll forget it's there and I'll refocus. But, I'm not here to although I am here to market the town. So for people to come here, I don't want to say everything's perfect. We have issues, things happen.
Opportunities, right?
Yeah, totally. And I think when we do have stuff that goes, maybe not the way we planned, our town is really good at responding and, let's make this right. Let's figure this out. And so that's another piece of it, right? Is we're accountable.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, and just to add a little more to that, you reminded me, Stefanie, and it is tough to pick. I did pick our beautiful landscapes and hiking, but one thing that I hear over and over from residents is, we're growing and we're pretty decent size community now with a little over 63,000, probably closer to 65,000, and people still have that small town feel. And that is also part of, we reach out to our residents, our mayor and council, they're out and about talking to the community. And one of the things that we try to do here at the town of Marana is be responsive, and we're not ignoring these concerns that we receive. And I think that attributes to that small town feel.
Yeah, that's super huge. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Stephanie.
I was going to say, because also I live in San Lucas, and we had only one access point, right? We didn't have our back way to get out, and I had to come
And your
here.
one access point went across a railroad.
Yes, which we were getting stuck. Like first day of school one year, my kids were all late to school because we were stuck by the train. And so again, it was
Stuck by the train, not just because it's going through, because sometimes it literally stops on the track.
Yes, thank you. I should have been more specific, but and it still stops sometimes. But we got a back way because the town saw the issue, and yes, we came down and we were not like super happy, but the town made it right. Took a little time, and now we have our Mandarina back road that has been so helpful to this whole side, that whole side of the freeway, really. So.
That's a great example, actually, and I'm sure that people lose sight of this and forget about it. But the fact of the matter is that was not a road that the town had planned to build. It wasn't in the budget. It was supposed to be built by a developer who had indicated they were going to build it, were supposed to build it, didn't build it. And the town said, you know what, we're not going to wait. This is too big of an issue. And the town found the money, built the road, and kept their promise to do that for the people of San Lucas. So I think that goes to exactly what you were talking about, Andrea. Both of you have hit on it, and that is the town's responsiveness and this whole idea of providing a level of service from a government entity, which most people, quite frankly, have grown to not expect from government.
Right.
Government doesn't have the greatest name. Government in general doesn't have a great name with the public. But I think as an organization for a long time now, and this has been established, I think, going all the way back to when the town was incorporated, with the people that did that, with the Ora Mayharns and the Eddie Honeys and the Posts and the Kais and all of those folks who have been sitting on the council, who are hardworking, humble people who believe that government is here to serve. And I think that and I know I'm kind of going off on a dialogue here, and it's intentional because I do think it's important that our community understands, and I do think it is one of the things that sets a government apart when you provide outstanding government services. Not saying and not being Pollyannish like Stefanie said, that we don't ever get it wrong. We do. But when we get it wrong, we're going to own it. And we're going to provide the very best service that we can provide. A lot of people don't know we've got the only double 5-star rated resort in all of Arizona.
Woohoo!
Yippee-ki-yay, Ritz-Carlton, right? And we're striving to be the only 5-star rated government organization in Arizona. So I think that contributes to that desire to live here, knowing that your government cares about you, that we're here to serve, and creating all of those great kind of family opportunities. And so I'd like for both of you to kind of talk a little bit about that, because I think there are things that the town is doing to bring families together and provide opportunities for community to gather. So Stefanie, why don't we start with you this time? What are some of your favorite things that the town does to bring community and identity to the town?
Well, I mean, absolutely. It's our special events that we have every year. My favorite being the holiday tree lighting and everything that goes with that. But we take it a step further, too, because we have that tree lighting show every night in December. And I hope more and more people will start to take advantage of that, especially like if you don't like crowds very much, you can come down with your group and watch the same show we get on the night of the tree lighting, and you can make a night out of it. So, that's what strikes me every time I'm at one of our events too, running one of our tables to give away swag, is people will say, I want to move to Marana so bad. I really love it here. I want to move here. I'm trying to move here. And you're like, wow, yeah,
That's awesome.
Let's
Move
go.
here then.
Yeah.
What can we do to help you?
Yeah. And so
get a
people
truck. Yeah.
from outside of our community come in, and that's tourism. And we're using data to show how our big events are also tourism. They're bringing people from other parts of our community and our state to come and experience this. But yeah, we definitely are putting family and community at the heart of everything. We have the free concert series, when the weather's nice enough.
Yes.
And you see all the people, grabbing their food from the food truck, hanging out and watching the music. And, that was just an idea someone had in Parks and Rec, and they figured out how to do it. And it's a great amenity. So I don't know if I answered your question, because I'm just
You
kind
absolutely
of
did.
gushing over everything.
I don't know if you left a lot for Andrea, but I think you did. So.
As you kept going, I'm like, please don't say the mark, so I can at least say the mark.
Yes!
But yeah, the mark is another great example of, a place where families can gather, and there's multi-generational, right? So there's things for everyone to do. And then a lot of our neighborhoods are really close to a park. In Saguaro Bloom, we're working on our park, but Gladden Farms has, the Gladden Farms Community Park and Heritage Park.
Great parks.
Crossroads Park. We're known for a lot of just great parks, and that's where a lot of families go out.
For those who may not know, when we say the mark, we're talking about the Marana Aquatics and Recreation Center. Most likely all of our listeners are aware of that, but man, yeah, the special events, phenomenal. The concert in the courtyards, the new mark has been fabulous. I don't know if you guys, you might know this, but we were hoping that we'd get around 350 memberships in the first 3 months. We are about a month and a week into this thing now. 5 weeks into this, maybe 6. No, about 5.
Yeah,
5 weeks into this thing, and we're sitting at about 2,200 memberships and 8,300 members.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is absolutely mind-blowing. I think that's one of those things where people are like, wow, the town is stepping up, stepping out, taking chances, building things that, raise the bar for the best quality of life. That's the vision, right? And we've got other stuff on the horizon. Is there anything in particular that either one of you are excited about that's on the horizon for the town?
Oh, I'm going to say the tourism master plan.
Okay. All right. Well, because Stefanie is our tourism and marketing manager, right? She's selecting the tourism master plan, which is a big deal. We're getting it across the finish line, bringing it on the 17th before the council to finalize. So tell us about why you're so excited about that, Stefanie.
Yeah, well, this is a 10-year strategic plan for tourism. And I was really trying to figure out how do I explain to someone why do we need to do this? And when I say a great place to visit is a great place to live, that really resonates with people,
that.
Right?
It
it's
is like
good.
my favorite thing about the whole plan. I think. Yeah.
Yes.
And the plan's amazing, but that comment, that statement, I think sums it up so beautifully.
Thank
I'm sorry,
you.
I interrupted you.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. When
just
you
got excited.
Yes.
You got
when
me,
you
yeah.
go to a community and you have your vacation, a lot of us go to San Diego, right? And we're at the beach, we're at our favorite part of San Diego, and we say, oh, I could live here. I love this part so much. When someone comes here and says the same thing, that's the biggest compliment to your community, right? Is when somebody's starting to peruse Zillow, how much does it cost to live here, right? And no, I can never live in San Diego, but anyway.
Yeah, that's the difference between going to San Diego and saying that and coming to Marana and saying that.
Yeah.
Here, you could actually afford to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really excited to have a plan for us to walk through over the next 10 years. So when we say we're getting it across the finish line, actually, it's just the beginning, right? We're getting the approval from council to move forward for the next 10 years. And I can see in my mind's eye all the things that we'll see in 10 years, what we'll have accomplished. And it'll be similar to when we think of the mark and the police station and all these other things that our town has done, and we get to be part of it. And of course, the downtown project, right? So it all wraps up in a nice bow. Again, I'm sorry.
Stefanie Bo.
The Stephanie Bo Show.
That's right, Stephanie Bo Show. Anyway, so I'm super excited, and that's because I'm so deeply into it. But I bet Andrea has a much better thing to talk about.
Oh, no,
You might have hit on
You
hers.
totally
I don't know.
hit on it
Yeah.
when you said downtown. So I do want to say, so when I moved to Marana, again, location was big, right? And my husband and I talked about it, and we said, there's no downtown in Marana, but we're only about 25 minutes to downtown Tucson. So if we ever want to go on a Friday, Saturday night for date night, let's just go to the downtown Tucson. But now, after 4 years, downtown Marana will hopefully soon be a reality, and that's probably one of the things that I am most excited about. And now working for the town of Marana and just being able to walk after work to a downtown area is pretty exciting. So yeah, I don't think there's another project that we have coming up that's more exciting to me than downtown Marana.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That's one of my top ones is the downtown, and getting to be a part of that, working with a developer, Jane Farrell, working hard on the agreement right now. We think we're going to have it before the council on August the 3rd or the 5th, whatever day that council meeting is. And then they'll be able to go to town and design the first couple of buildings and the streets and the archway, entryway, parking lot, all that kind of stuff, and get this thing going. Because I think it's going to be, we were talking about this before, but it is the level of success of some of these things that we thought, man, this is going to go over big here. The Fries in Gladden, the Mark up here. We knew those things were going to be successful. We really believe that. We just have not anticipated the degree to which they have been successful.
Absolutely.
I mean, so incredibly successful.
Yeah, and it's really amazing to, see that from this side, right? Like, we knew it was going to be great. Man, I didn't know that I could go do a dance class with Andrea and Vic from communications.
We're shine dancers. Hey, my wife loves that class too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we see some of the women from HR. And so when I'm saying the community is beautiful, that's another thing about it. Like, oh my gosh, it was so fun to, just drive 2 minutes over there, and we got to take this class together and laugh together. And I see us again in my mind's eye. I see us getting that beer at that beer garden, and I can't wait. As and that's another really cool thing about working here too. Like everybody is friends with everybody.
Yeah.
You don't get that at every workplace. I've been in many places where I didn't want to see anybody after hours, but man.
Those town of Marana employees are really cool.
They really are.
So let me ask, who was the best shine dancer of the group?
Nobody.
Vic doesn't know who it is, but she knows it's not her. That's what she's saying.
It was not me, but one person that's missing is Jill McCleary. She was taking the same dance class, so I would probably say her. I was watching
she was pretty good at it.
Yeah, she was pretty good.
I think she was taking it more seriously than we were too.
Stephanie and me were just cracking up, just laughing at all of our mistakes. But it was a lot of fun. Recommend.
Right. Yeah.
Good
and
stuff.
Also so
Fun
cool
time.
that we've hired these top-notch fitness instructors to, oh my gosh, I could just go on and on and on about all the amazing things that the town does.
There's one thing that we didn't mention, and I just want to highlight another reason why families do love the town of Marana is how safe we are. We have an amazing, amazing police department. So I just want to make sure to give.
How
PD
could
a shout
I,
out.
of all people,
Right?
forget to highlight safety?
Very important, and
Very-
I believe it's
very
one
important.
of the what
it
is
is.
it?
Yeah, it's under I think,
Desirability. People
No.
want to live in a safe community.
Yes, yes. So,
Yeah, I think we failed to mention it because we just take it for granted, man.
Exactly.
That this place is safe. We don't feel scared walking our streets,
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
highly important. Well, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to ask if there's any last minute items or last.
Closing thoughts.
Closing remarks.
Thanks.
Closing thoughts, yeah.
Thanks. So I'm going to ask if there's any closing thoughts by Stefanie and Andrea. Stephanie, why don't you close us out with any closing thoughts you have?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know if I can, but I think my number one would be just like, I'll tell you, I moved away from here so many times, right? Like I moved to Phoenix and went to college. I moved to Colorado and furthered my career up there. And every single time I boomerang myself right back here. So there's a reason for that. And it's not just that my mom is here and other family members. It's that like, this is home. This is home. So I watched Ina and Thornydale I'm going to date myself, but it was the 1970s and we had no grocery store at Ina and Thornydale. So my family had to drive to Orange Grove and Oracle to go to the store. And I remember the day when I was a little kid, we got that grocery store. Lucky's came in, right? And it was a huge deal.
Lucky's.
Yes. Yeah. And we had those big like blow up stuff and they were giving free hot chocolate. I think it was like 5 or 6 and that was so huge to me. And I am so excited for the kids of today who had that memory at Fry's, right? The same exact thing. They know they had
30
to drive.
years from now, there's going to be somebody sitting in that chair talking about remembering when the Fry's in Gladden Farms opened up. Yeah.
And the first concert they're going to see at the downtown and other things like that. But just in my lifetime to have seen this community, I know the part I grew up in is outside of the town, but I still think it's Marana. But to see what's happened in my lifetime is just amazing. And it's just going to get better and better and better. And that's so exciting.
Yeah. Andrea, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, to see what's going on and then also to be part of it from the town side is also just amazing. But some closing thoughts from me. I was at that same meet and greet community meeting yesterday with Terry. And one of the residents did say, and I wrote it down, she was just very impressed with the mark and was actually coming from an aerobics class when she went to the meeting. But she said Marana is becoming a place worth bragging about. And yeah, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I honestly think we're already there. With the mark, with everything that we have going on, it is a place to brag about. And I do think number 3, that's definitely hits because I do think there's just so many amazing things going on. And I think residents are proud to live here.
Excellent. Thank you, Stefanie. Thank you, Andrea. Greatly appreciate you joining me for the show. Number 3 in the state of Arizona, shooting for number 1. Number 115 in the nation, shooting for number 1.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, why not, right? All right. Thank you both for being with us. And thank you, listeners. Really appreciate you as well. Until next time. Submit your questions by visiting maranaaz.gov/realtalk, and we'll answer them right here. To receive notifications for new releases, remember to hit subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, remember to follow the town on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on current news and events.